So One Piece has been going for over 900 episodes with different islands and villains for the Straw Hats to battle, but let's talk about the films. Before a certain point, the One Piece films felt the same, where the stories were kind of generic, like helping a kid while beating a bad guy. Then there were the recap films that just retell arcs of the story again because repetition. This isn't to say that they were all bad. I personally enjoyed the one directed by Mamoru Hosoda, who directed the Digimon films. It's one of the most unique films from a long-running shonen series. Then they stepped up their game in terms of both writing and production thanks to the efforts of two parties heavily involved in One Piece, Eiichiro Oda and Toei Animation. Oda is the mangaka behind One Piece and only worked on the character designs for the film, but he started helping with the writing, beginning with Strong World. Meanwhile, Toei Animation put more polish into the productions. It's not just the animation itself that got an upgrade, but the backgrounds and character designs for more detail. Just remember that every film I talk about in this video have brilliant production values, and I'll point to specific parts that stood out to me the most. One Piece film Strong World is really good. This film brings up continuity like battling a former inmate of Impel Down and threatening the East Blue, which is where a lot of the Straw Hat pirates come from. A personal connection to the heroes is a nice touch to this film, especially for Nami. As the weakest member of the Straw Hats, it's good they actually did something with her before becoming the glass cannon with her weather powers later on. The villain being Shiki, who is a canon character to the One Piece manga who exists separately in this film with his own powers and backstory. I will say that the films are meant to be non-canon due to it not fitting in with the existing manga that is being adapted.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Shiki isn't the most interesting villain in the world, but he works for the film considering the runtime. The concept of the runtime in films holds back further character explanation. Next film, they improve the villain. His design is definitely unique and stands out from the other movie villains because look at him. Shiki's powers were also interesting as he could levitate any object to his will apart from living beings, which makes sense for the film's setup. There are floating islands in the sky that aren't sky islands because One Piece. His henchmen were the usual bunch of bad guys that the Straw Hats had to beat up like mini bosses in a video game. The design of the film is really good, especially in the detail like Nami's boobs. Look at the areas that the Straw Hats explore. The locations felt like Oda unloading a load of ideas and playing with them through the different areas and unique creatures. The world of One Piece is my favourite in fiction due to its uniqueness and different islands that all have their own personalities and life to them. The film throws tons of ideas at the audience, which I appreciate because world building. Something else I want to bring up is the film exclusive outfits. The outfits in the series change mostly to match the specific arc, but the films add their own spin on what the characters wore, which I like due to my interest in fashion. How a character is dressed can add a lot to their personality beyond the dialogue and story. Then film Z happened. Dragon Ball called. The time skip had happened at this point, so the designs were updated.
As one door closes, another must open.
An ex-admiral and his team in the New World are planning to destroy it with a super weapon. Obviously the Straw Hats don't want that and fight back. I love the exclusive outfits for this film. Dialysin Red, which is a ferocious colour for me. The villain Z, or Black Arm Zephyr, is fascinating to me due to being a former admiral. The Straw Hats have battled the Marines before, such as Smoker, but this guy left them and vowed to destroy all pirates due to a family tragedy. Z had a pretty well fleshed out backstory that is told throughout the film, unlike other villains. He's not a laughing villain that Luffy needs to punch in the face. He represents a theme in the One Piece story that justice isn't absolute. He is trying to wipe out the pirates and has turned his back on the idea of justice, but what does that word mean in this world? Movie villains can be difficult in anime. They can either be interesting and unique characters with motivations that make sense in the world they inhabit like Z, or be generic overpowered brutes like Bullet from Stampede. Z doesn't even have a devil fruit power and instead relies on his strength and haki to fight. Film Z is a good one. I also love his giant gauntlet arm thing because it's pure over-the-top shonen. Right, gauntlet launcher. Film Gold is about the Straw Hats going to a casino island run by a dude and his henchmen. Also Sabo is there. Also Nami's hot friend. Animation is amazing on this film with the amount of detail in not only the fight scenes but just the regular scenes in general. I'm talking about the race scene, which is a spectacle to behold. This is where the budget for Dragon Ball Super went. I love the island boats thing as a setting due to the film being based on casinos and gambling. As a James James Bond fan, I appreciate this. Gold is an important part of this film from a design point as well as being plot relevant. That's not even going into the villain's devil fruit of controlling gold because devil fruit ability. The film exclusive outfits are great, from their casino to burglary suits. Reminds me of Persona 5 for some reason. Gear 4th is here, which is my favourite power up of all time, so 10 out of 10 there. Really solid. The only problem I have with this film is that the villains are a step down from Z. Gil Tereso, also known as the Casino King, is just a bad guy for Luffy to punch, which is disappointing considering his backstory as a slave of the world nobles, the most powerful people in the world of One Piece, but he's just a bastard and that's it. Same for his henchmen, even though I do like a lot of the devil fruit abilities in this film, especially Baccarat's luck fruit. As the name implies, it has the power to control the luck of people, which is one of the most overpowered abilities in One Piece, and it's just in a film. Funny, seeing as I've already released a video about Stampede, I will link it in the description if you want to see what I thought of that film. The One Piece films showcase how time and budget can really change a project. They feel like an extension of my favourite manga beyond the anime, which is why I love them so much. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe and hit that notification button for more content from yours truly. Also follow me on Twitter for the link in the description. Cheers for watching.